Testing, 1, 2, and we are live. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me, everybody, whoever's out there. Bronze Dragon here, bringing you another live stream, another edition of the Saturday morning stand-up. Appreciate everybody coming by. We'll talk a little bit of Splinterlands and whatever else you all want to talk about. A little bit of Atlas Earth or, whatever everybody's going on. Bolts 85 is in the house. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. I do appreciate you stopping by. A lot of things on the platter this week. I suppose a lot of people will want to talk about the new cards just announced in Splinterlands, but we can talk about basically anything you want to, gaming related, that is. KGM Jams in the house. Happy end of season rewards. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, in fact, I was doing something earlier. I got a list of chores I have to do on Saturday morning to get done before I get to the show. And as always, I'm trying to improve my videos and my live streams a little bit at a time and try to say I'm making improvement. You may notice a little border around my camera. That's what I achieved today, but it took a little bit to do, and I was so caught up in that, I missed the exact end of season, but then I was starting to turn on the stream, and I'm like, I need to refresh my Splinterlands screen, and I saw end of season happened, so I'll have to do that video later on, but I got about 162,000 at the end of my main account, and we'll have to take a look at my secondary account too. But I got those up and running. Obviously, now you have to spend. I'm in Wild with. I use the Archmage bot, and you have to spend DEC now to go ahead and buy that Wild permit. So it will be interesting to see if we have a drop-off in accounts playing, or there's been a lot of discussion. A lot of other YouTubers have, put out videos this week about, the value of paying the Wild Pass and the value of the new cards, and there's a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see what everybody's saying. Jabby Saints is here. Hey, hey, hey. Crypto Beavers in the house. Good morning. Gathering the Magic says, good morning. Hope everyone had an epic end of season like I did. Well, I'm glad to hear you had a good end of season. I went ahead and claimed, obviously, and got my accounts back up and running for the new season, but I haven't dove in and bought anything yet. I will say, just to let you know, if you are not paying attention, that let's jump over here and look at the Rebellion rewards cards and look under Epic. Olivia the Brook is hot. And although my strategy, and I'm kind of like bleeding over into my video I'll have to do later on buying cards and stuff like that, but my strategy is up to this point concentrating on commons and rares to start off with. But I'm very tempted to go epic with the epic draws for some more Olivia the Brook, because boy is she strong. We're getting ready. We're coming down to the end of the season, or end of the current brawl, and I used her in some of my brawls. And let me tell you what, she performed very well. And we'll take a look at some pairings with that. So very interesting, but keep your eye on Olivia. Let's see here. Ankh 12C's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Matthew Young's here. Thanks for coming by. Good morning. Smash that like. Yes, please. It seems like I say it every video because they say it's a best use case for whenever you're making videos, keeps it to the top of people's mind. But please do like. That presses the video out to more people as far as the YouTube algorithm goes, and God knows that we can use that Splinterlands topic in the higher as we can get it in YouTube. But I do appreciate on a personal level when you leave likes and comments, and obviously I hope you subscribe to the channel because that helps out as well too. Thanks. Rooney 207's here. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. The new wild season nerf. Well, in fact, I had done a video last season and I had wrongly put out that it had happened last season, but I had misread. But yeah, so that goes live today. Obviously, we can no longer we have to use DEC. Obviously, DEC is still better than using credits, but if credits all you got, then use them, I guess. But credits is increasingly more expensive to use than DEC because DEC is still under peg. Let's see what it is today. Let's refresh this. So we're at 70 cents. I mean, it's doing a lot better than what it was, right? But it's still not at peg, which really means that there's a lot of other use cases now for DEC and going forward. And we'll talk about those new cards, what everybody thinks about them. But DEC is still cheaper than using credits if you're going to play in the wild. Rooney207 says, at Bronze Dragon Gaming, wow, so rich in glint. Yeah, I mean, I need to buy. I still haven't done my draws for this week. I just literally right before the show did my season claim because I'm quite busy on a Saturday morning before the show, doing some chores and getting ready, trying to improve the show a little bit, like a little bit at a time. But I still have to do that video later on. And like I said, I'm very tempted to go with epics, even though epic draws are 7,500. Let's see. Yeah, 7,500. I'm very tempted to do maybe 10 or 15 this time around, maybe a full set to increase my Olivia the Brook, right? Because I don't know. I mean, this seems to be like a split down the middle type opinion. Some people think that she's way overpowered, and some people think that she's just a support card and it'll be fine. So I mean, if you didn't catch it, I was on the People's Guild episode this past week. Check it out. This was a topic we discussed. We all agreed that she was really strong, if not overpowered. The comment was that some people believe that they shouldn't nerf cards when they come out. Some people believe they should. I think that Matt has said in the past that they try not to do that, especially if somebody's buying the card. They try not to alter the card after it's been sold. They try to put something else into the game to combat that card. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, let me see. I can go, while we're talking, I'm going to go into the brawls, and I want to pull out one of the matches. Let's see if this is it. No, this isn't it. I know there was a couple matches where, oh well, maybe I'll feature it in a video. Either way, she performed very well for me, and in fact, it was crazy the amount of power she stacked up. Because if you're not familiar with Olivia, on her second turn, she automatically gets a power, right, from the opposing team, and then after that, everybody she hits, or let's look up the card to be specific. Okay, 25% chance to gain a random ability from attacker when hit. So she automatically gets a power at the second turn. And then after that, every time she's hit, she gets a 25% chance of absorbing a power. So those powers, if you haven't seen some of the screenshots on Discord, they get pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and dive back into chat. I know I'm just blabbering on. I just wanted to emphasize the strength of this card. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't back that up by saying she also goes well with Izziar. So let's go rewards and legendary and life. Oh, I can just pick them up here. So I think the only card move I made this week was I maxed out my Izziar. I needed 2 copies, 2 BCX to max the card out. And so I bought them on, they were like $3.70, something like that. Let's see what they're going for now. They're up a little bit from where I bought them, but I bought 2 BCX and maxed out my IZR. But my point is that she goes great with IZR up front and then her back in the crowd a little bit. Okay, let's check out chat, see what's going on. Onk12C says it's 1:30 a.m. in Sydney. Wow. Yeah, you're basically on the opposite side of my world, or opposite side of the world from me. So I do appreciate, definitely, if you're up at 1:30, jumping in chat here and checking out the live stream. Appreciate it. Gathering says, just got my wild permit, buying more and more vouchers after the new promo card details came out. Yeah, I haven't done the math. Has anybody done the math as far as how much... I know that it is 30 vouchers per BCX. And if a max level costs, sorry, a little bit of morning math here, 400 times 30. If you're going for a max level, that's 12,000 vouchers. Now, how much is a voucher going for now? 0.0174. So $208 if you didn't have any vouchers. A max level of the common card will be about $208. Obviously, a lot of us have plenty of vouchers laying around, but I'm not going to have enough vouchers to buy a max one. Let's just, for the sake of argument, look at how many vouchers I have. Yeah, so I've got about 1,500 something, 1,500 vouchers, right? You know, that's not even going to buy me a level 4 or 5, 6 card. So it's all these cards, in my opinion, and I'm just going to start it out there, stay out there, just more cards. I like the idea of a voucher card. Obviously, a lot of people have pointed out this is the primary reason is to soak up and burn off a lot of those vouchers. That's great. I like the idea. It's really expensive for me, though, because, but we can get into that later. Interesting topic of discussion, though. Paul Taylor's in the house. Howdy. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering says, go for the epics. Yeah, I mean, I'm very tempted to go for the epics and max out my, or at least level up my Olivia. I mean, I've got her at level 2. Level 2 is where you at least want to be with her because she picks up Mimic, right? And this is a skill that the skill... Now, here's the thing, because I was discussing about the nerfing of cards. Now, I mean, it could be a backside nerf in that they're not really nerfing the card, but they may change how Mimic works, okay? At this point in time, she's the only one out there that that has Mimic. Going forward, obviously, they'll probably put it on other cards, but they may change the way Mimic works, but we'll see. And obviously, before they do a change, they would have to, first of all, I think I was replying on... Oh, it was in a Discord chat with the guys from the People's Guild, but and with Dwayne. I think the first thing they need to do, and this isn't just for Olivia, I think for any card that people think that may be overpowered or in need of a nerf, I think the first thing they need to do is come up with a standard definition of what makes a card quote unquote overpowered. And then from there, draw metrics on how the card's being used and see if that card fits within that definition. Now, I'm not saying she needs to be nerfed. I think she's a really strong card, and if we had to get down to nuts and bolts and argue about this new set, she's the strongest card there. But she's an epic and not a legendary, which is very interesting. I think she could easily be classified as a legendary. Onk12C says, I got Olivia in gold foil. Sweet. Gathering says, I don't see the epic cards on my bronze account, so I think going for epic cards can easily set my deck apart and help me at the lower levels. Like I said, if you can score Olivia at... she needs to be at level 2 at least. The rest is just like laying yap, as they say down in Louisiana, which is extra for free, right? I think you need it at least to get her at level 2. Dwayne says, Bronze Dragon appreciates you. Well, thanks, Dwayne. I appreciate you too. I always like watching your videos. It always, you know, you get on these various channels where we talk about the game, and a lot of people like to trash the game. And, you know, I agree with some people. I disagree with some people. But, you know, I always watch Dwayne's videos, and I always know that I can find an upbeat kind of attitude towards the topics he's covering. So appreciate you too. Gathering says, hey, Dwayne, you got your end of season rewards yet? Go for the epics, man. Yeah, we've been talking about that. Bolts85 says, yeah, epics will be the rarity to unlock and flip. Well, I'm not really necessarily looking at unlocking right now. I'm looking at strengthening my deck. How can I win more matches? And I think Olivia is at the top of that list. Jabby Saint says, once you go Olivia, she'll never leave you. Coit's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering says 12K vouchers to max that card. Yeah, and like we said, it was, if you have to buy all the vouchers, that's a little bit over $200. And we haven't even talked about the other cards yet. Let's see here. Alex T's in the house. Olivia is very good, but not a carry card. She's definitely a support card. You definitely need some cards to keep her from dying, basically. I don't think she's an automatic win card, but I think she is very powerful. And if you don't agree with me that she is the most powerful card in this set, let me know which card you think is the most powerful card in the set, and we'll talk about it. We'll do some comparisons. Although some of them are very hard to compare, you know. Let's see what else is going on. Bolt says, I figured best way to quickly double your DEC by unlocking epics and sale and a few and rent a few. Definitely hyping up. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a strategy, and there's definitely a lot of people that will do that. You know, you unlock, throw it up on throw it up on the market and try to make a profit, and then turn around and do something else with it, you know, and try to get more in the future, right? Me, I'm concentrating on improving my deck. That's basically what I've been doing my whole channel. And my whole channel has been dedicated to kind of, I've been guilty of buying a few expensive cards here and there, but I usually wait until they come down in price before I invest in them. But the primary view of this channel has been, hey, let's play Splinterlands and try to get the best value. Like Dwayne likes to point out the difference between price and value. A card may be cheap now because it's lost price on the market, but it still has great play value, right? Because it's a strong card, right? So, yeah, so I try to improve my deck the best I can for the least amount of money out of my pocket. That's me. So let's see what else is going on here. Rooney207 says new voucher promo cards are not cheap. None of those new cards are cheap. In fact, I made a video yesterday, and I made a video because I had it planned, and I passed a major milestone in another game I'm playing, Atlas Earth, and I had to do that because I made this huge land purchase in game. I had been saving up for quite a while, and let's go ahead and just for a second, you can see that now my land has grown by 70 parcels because I did a tier jump, and my my profit on that per year went up by about $40 per year just with that tier jump. But either way, I was busy doing that, and I saw them put out the news on the new cards, and then I looked at the numbers, and wow, you know, I'm not saying they're bad cards. I'm all for new cards, and they look cool, but their expense is just way up there. And sometimes I wonder in the back of my head, wow, who can afford, in this day and age, who can afford to throw down, $250 or $500 for a max level card? And with the ones we were talking about with the vouchers, even $200, because I mean, a lot of us have some vouchers, but a lot of us don't have 12,000 vouchers laying around. Once again, it's the guys at the top, and that's fine. If they want to continue throwing that much money into the game, that's fine. I'm not against it. You do whatever you want to do with your own money, right? It's just sometimes it boggles my mind how people have this much money to throw into an NFT card in a card game. But those are just my ramblings, getting off topic a little bit. But Coit says, you've updated to the latest version of Atlas Earth, I hope. Yes, Coit, I did. And that's interesting. They've, if you want to talk about Atlas Earth for a minute, they've been making a lot of, the game has been brought forward a lot. I mean, in the last few months, they've brought a lot of new countries on, and they're not slowing down. So I'm going to continue doing Atlas Earth coverage. I've got a lot of new subscribers from my Atlas Earth coverage, and I'm having a good time with it, and I'm making money on it. So that's what I'll continue. So don't worry about that. Gathering says, once the vouchers dry up off of Hive, watch the price go up. Yeah, I mean, that would be logical, right? I haven't looked at the price of vouchers on Hive, but if we go over to Splinter Cards, you can see, I just refreshed, but you can see that there was a peak yesterday whenever this was announced, when the voucher card information came out. So I would imagine that, like you said, we're in a situation where you can no longer transfer vouchers into the Hive engine, but you can transfer from Hive engine into the game, and they're trying to consolidate everything as far as vouchers goes into the game, and then for all intents and purposes burn those off, and then going forward you'll just use them to buy cards in the voucher shop, and they'll just be, once again, they'll be very expensive, and we'll have to see how it goes. I like the idea of the voucher shop. It's just, once again, pretty expensive. Alex T says the price already went up. Yeah, we just covered that. Gathering says, yep, got them under a penny, almost doubled. Yeah, Gathering's been talking about that for a while. I bought a few vouchers, I guess, but originally when I bought the vouchers, they weren't really for the voucher shop card. They were for back when we were talking about the possible usage of vouchers in Land 2.0, which is another topic to talk about if we want to. So, but that won't be happening, I guess. So I'll probably use them to buy some cards, but it would be interesting to see. Let's look at that card. So this is what we're talking, Mana Warden. I suppose that you would need to at least get it at level 4 for it to be semi-useful. Obviously maxed out would be preferable. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on this just yet. I like the artwork. I like that it's dual splinter, but it's very pricey. I seem to say that a lot because a lot of these prices just elude me. Why? I know the argument is, oh, we want these to be quite valuable and everything, and that's fine, but at a certain point, you're pricing people out. You're pricing your game out of the reach of your average player. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, obviously. Let's see here. Gathering says, I've been saying for ages, load up on vouchers. Don't be an after sound. Yeah, well, also there's the point of there's only so much you can buy. You've got to pick what you want to invest in, and in Splinterlands, there's so many things they throw at you as far as where do I spend my money? I mean, ultimately, most of us are not rich, so you got to pick and choose where you spend your money. And that's if you are still putting money into Splinterlands, right? Some of us are also playing other games as well. So Alex T says, you noticed I never really said anything about them. It's because I was trying to get them. Oh, so Alex T was loading up, backing that truck up on vouchers. Gathering says, I just try to help others out, but I get it. Alex T says, my guy Aftersound isn't the best trader. Well, he covers the game from top to bottom, and he does, he runs circles as far as the number of videos around the rest of us. So he tries to, and he says that, it's not investment advice, obviously. So once again, even he says, you got to basically pick where you put your money. And I don't know about you, but with the prices of these cards, if I went and bought a max level of each of these cards and put all the other money in, obviously they're running a business, so they but in a lot of cases, first of all, I don't think any of this profit is going into their pockets. I think that the DEC for these cards is going to the DAO, and I think that the Mana Warden is just to burn off vouchers, right? So the only idea I can have for the reason for the expense is they're just trying to burn off a lot, right? Or bring a lot to the DAO. But I don't know. If I buy any of the Mana Warden, it will probably be at mid-level somewhere, maybe level 6, and the rest of these others, I can't see myself buying an Eleanor Bravefoot. It's very interesting that she's at a 0 mana card. It looks like they took kind of like a Rooney type artwork to base this off of. Interesting powers, but once again, it's not a card I don't think that's going to... it's going to shape the way you put together your hand, because obviously she is built around using Chaos Legion 0 mana casting cost cards to pair up with her. But I guess my personal opinion is she's not worth the price. I found Sanctus Vicar a little bit more interesting than her. But get a drink of water. I'm just trying to figure out where we are in chat. I'm way behind. Sorry, guys. Gathering says, I agree with Dwayne. Wait a minute. Let's go back to what Dwayne said. Dwayne said, not gathering yet, later today. Do you have a voucher whale? Dwayne says, these SBRC epics are better than the legendary. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, 1 mana legendaries have their place. Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree. I like them. I don't think they're game breaking. I think they're interesting to have in obviously the low mana matches and anything down there. And obviously they're always handy to throw an extra, especially like the matches where you can put a melee in that attack at any location. Obviously 1 mana, a little bit extra damage, and obviously in like Little League and things like that, they'll spice up the game. I don't think they're game breaking though. Gathering says, I don't care about the legendary cards, all about the epics. I agree. I think especially the one Olivia is probably the top card in the set. Alex T says the death one is really good in the right team. Rooney 207 agrees that epics are better as in cheaper. Yeah, they are cheaper, and I'm overall just looking at the power. Gathering says, I wonder how many months before we can unlock these. Well, I think they did agree to go ahead and unlock the new set as soon as possible, as far as making them sellable. I'm trying to just look at the new reward set, so we'll take a look at that. Yeah, and these should be going up a little bit later on whenever I do my video on spinning some glint. Jabby Saint says, if you want a balanced outlook on Splinterlands, watch Dwayne. If you want bearish, watch Aftersound if you're bullish. What does that make me? I was called a salty bear for a long time. That's why I bought a max level salty bear. But I waited until the prices came down and I maxed him out. Jabby Saint says, I think Thanalorian Blade is better than Livia. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Here we go. So if we, just for argument, look at the max level, we've got Opportunity, we've got Execute, we've got Lookout, and we've got Trample. This was interesting because Execute says if the target has 2 or less health, after a successful attack, perform another attack against the same unit. This interested to me because at max level, this card does 4 damage. So if this card hit it and the card had less than 2 health, it would be dead already. So Execute doesn't you no good. Now, you may go down and that would be more... It doesn't even... Yeah, it still has... I guess that would be more applicable at lower levels, but once it hits max level, Execute really, I'm sure there's some situations where maybe another card heals it or something or other where this would come in handy, but it seemed kind of weird in the description. Interesting take on it though. I do agree this is a pretty strong card though. Gathering says, just got mine to level 2, can't wait to try to Execute. Alex T says, Aftersound tries to sell the game. Don't believe his bearish disguise. Oh, I don't know about that. I try not to talk about people that much. Everybody has their own approach. I just try to kind of be as balanced as I can, although I probably kind of lean towards being more negative. Just that's my personality. I look on that side. That's the kind of guy I am. But take it or leave it. That's why the team doesn't, as far as I know, like me very much. KGM says, Dispel will remove those abilities on Olivia. Yes, but it'll only remove 1, correct? And I don't have the screenshot up here, but available. But I mean, I was playing a couple matches this week, and she had 6, 7, 8 powers stacked up, you know, so it was pretty interesting. I think we're going to get to a point where you see a lot of Olivia of the Brook when you're playing. So, I mean, that bears the point of trying to come up with a play against the card, right? So when you discuss her power, you also have to discuss the other side of her. Hey, how are we going to fight against her, right? Rooney207 says, Alex T as never bearish, otherwise he'd quit a long time ago, and Alex T agrees with that. Rooney207 says, Darkest Night is bearish and left. He did. I enjoyed those videos with him. I found Darkest Night pretty frank and interesting in those discussions, and he's kind of sank into the background. I don't know exactly what his status is now, but I do know that he divested at one point because he used to be on Aftersound's videos once in a while. But I like him. He seems like a nice guy. Alex T says, my guy DK kept it real, though. I respect that. Darkest Night. Rooney207 said yes, and he transfers into Bitcoin and Prime. Matt Young says, if you play Magic the Gathering competitively, you can easily spend $200 on a play set for a deck. Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's one of my points, you know, and I was a little bit competitive back in the day, but when we got to the point where there was more than 1 or 2 sets a year, think about that. If you want to be competitive in Magic the Gathering, it you have to it's very much like, you know, Splinterlands. You have to reinvent yourself every quarter. Every time a new set comes out and you want to be competitive with that set, you have to completely invest. And you don't have to buy a lot of packs. A lot of the guys, a lot of the people construct their decks competitively, figure out what the meta cards are, and then buy copies of those as singles. But you're still paying hundreds of dollars for a deck. And, you know, if you want to play Commander, it's probably even more because they're a bigger deck, right? So, Rooney207 says, at Bronze Dragon should see those 1 million players on AVAX and Ronin. Coit says, also, another Atlas Earth question. How did the SRB treat you? Well, that's interesting because in the middle of the SRB, we'll go back, since this is an Atlas Earth question, we'll go back over here. I still had like 12 hours left in the SRB, and I was ready to do my tier up from 150 to 220 parcels. And I'm like, let's go ahead and do it, because one of the takeaways with one of the reasons that makes it worth it going up from tier to tier when you lose. So I went from the 30 times boost down to 20 times. I'll just jump over here. But one of the takeaways is the way you improve, keep more money coming in, make more profit, is those super rent boosts twice a month, right? And so I jumped in and I was able to go ahead and jump up to the next tier with like 12 hours of super rent boost coming in. So I brought in a little bit more money for myself. So that's basically how that worked. So, and if you didn't catch it, I put out a video yesterday, which I did a screen recording of me buying all the parcels and all the rarities I got and everything. I guess the TLDR on that is that I was above average on commons and legendaries, but below average on rare and epic draws. And I'm still below average on epics overall. But thanks for that. And it treated me well. But if you're playing Atlas Earth, it's all about that super rent boost, especially as you go up in tiers. That's really where you get a lot of your money, and you've got to make sure that you are boosting 24/7 to get that extra profit. Okay, Alex T says, good for him. Bitcoin was low. I'm sure if the game gets good, he will consider coming back. Yeah, I've heard over the last few months, I've heard him talk to Aftersound a few times, and Aftersound mentioned him a few times. So I don't think that he's in a position, I'm not speaking for him, right? But I get the idea that he could be tempted to come back, right? With the right conditions. So I'm not exactly sure exactly why he left, but we all have to make our financial decisions, right? And sometimes the decisions are made just not purely on financials, you know? So I was watching NFO Guide's video yesterday, giving his reasons why he divested and everything. So, and a lot of those reasons were not purely around profit, right? So, well, here's interesting. My bot kicked in, and we are watching. You can't see. This is a Kelia. You can't see him because my head's over him. But the bot chose, and this is interesting because the bot's picking up and using these new cards. Used the Halfling Refugee up front, backed up by Tidebiter, Musa Selene, and Chaos Agent. Okay, so the opponent has a Lux and has the Merdali Guardian up front, which is interesting position for the Guardian. If I were picking, and I'm not saying I'm the best strategist, right? I would have put the Pellicore Bandit up front, the Merdali Guardian in the middle, and the Chaos Agent on the end. But let's go ahead and see who prevails. And this is also an interesting matchup because, and I'm wondering why the Refugee was thrown in here. It's only at level 2. So we'll see how this goes. Let me see where we are in the chat. Sorry for losing. I get off on a tangent. KGM says the guild has won spoils of... Looks like I'm going to win this one. Look at this. Yeah. I think this is... I'm just going back here because I think this Halfling Refugee is kind of a sleeper. I like it. I know it does have Weary on it, but I think that for 1 mana... with 3 damage, 6 health, and 3 speed. I mean, I think this is a no-brainer card to use once in a while, especially in low mana matches. I think the worst case scenario is the Halfling Refugee gets weary and doesn't play for a round. But especially like in matches where melee can hit from any position, I think it's it might be a sleeper card, right, that people aren't paying attention to. But I like it as well. Okay, so what we were talking about. KGMJM says the guild has won spoils of 48 crowns in the latest brawl. The brawls just got over. And in fact, let's refresh here. Why am I not getting the pop-up? Oh, still 32 minutes left on my main account. Let's jump over to my account that is in the KGM Jams guild. Okay, so this is what he's talking about. 2,400 merits. Not too bad. Let's see how I did. Sorry, off track since he mentioned that. So I got 6 wins and 3 losses. Not bad. I'm better than 50-50, and two of those wins were because someone fled. So I'll take it. Yeah, if you're in a guild, you need to fill those frays. I don't care if you're a guild leader and you're just throwing people into there. You need to have all your frays filled because people flee and forget to put their matches in. It's an auto win for you, right? Okay, well, thanks for bringing that up. Bolts85 says, at improving decks, are you... you will win a few matches, but only way to acquire DEC is by buying with fiat. Selling cards or burning SPS. Okay, maybe I missed that comment originally. Bolts also says, I am not adding more money into the game until we get more people in Splinterlands. I bought some SPS this week. I'm trying to get to that. In my mind, I'm trying to get to that magic number of 100,000. Oh, this is my secondary account. Yeah, I'm almost there. Trying to get to 100,000, and I'm almost there. So I've been buying a little bit at a time. But other than that, I haven't really. And that Izzyar, I bought 2 BCX of the Izzyar, and that's what I bought in the game this week. Let's see here. Bolts85 says, so land will have to produce. Yeah, I'm still pulling in whatever my land produces. I harvested last night. I've been harvesting like once a week because, frankly, a lot of times I forget about it. But my land's been pulling in about 125 to 130 SPS a week. And I'm not even heavily concentrated on SPS. I have a few lands doing SPS, a few lands doing land. I've got enough I've got enough land producing grain to offset the rest, so I don't have to buy any, basically. And then I got a few doing SPS and a few doing research for whatever that's going to be worth, right? Okay. Bolts85 says Mana Warden equals Bronze Dragon. We'll see. I'll get that card, but I'm not going to have it at max. I may buy it at like level 4 or level 6. I have to decide. I'm sorry, I'm behind in chat. I get off on a tangent. Oh, Gathering says the card looks like me. Rooney207 says that's Yabamat's whole point. He doesn't want that many players to join Splinterlands. People still need to push and shove. Well, I would hope that he would be making decisions to try and draw in as many people as he can. I would hope. But yeah. Gathering the Magic says, I still want a Bronze Dragon card. Should show a dragon with Bronze Dragon riding it. Yeah, if they put out a Bronze Dragon card, I would definitely have to have a max level. I don't, yeah, just right up front, I don't care the price. I would probably have to get a max level gold foil. Now, I say that, and if they put the gold foil out and it was like $500, of course I wouldn't buy it. But I would have to have at least a max level regular foil. But they wouldn't do that because I don't, once again, and I try not to beat that. I think that they think that I have a negative viewpoint of the game, and I don't. If I had a negative viewpoint of the game, I wouldn't be doing videos. I wouldn't be doing live streams. I wanted to count my live streams. I got to be around 100 straight live streams about Splinterlands at this point. I wouldn't be wasting my time. I think it's a good game. I just disagree with some of the decisions they make, right? So, Bolt85 says, well, at least if Bronze Dragon claims Warden, I am buying. Well, I'll probably buy one, but it's not going to be max level. I'm not doing a $200 into the card for a common, right? I think he's, I still have to look at the powers and everything. I think he might be a good support card, and we'll see where he fits in, but should be interesting nonetheless. I'm not spending 12,000 vouchers on it, though. I guess it really comes down to how effective and is the card worth buying in at, let's see, like say you said level 4, I think 30 times 30. So 900 vouchers for a level 4, and you're talking about 3 damage, 3 speed, no shield, 3 health. And he's got that new power, shield ward, and the slow power, whatever that foot thing is, where they slow him down. So the shield ward, he whoever you put him behind, he gives shield to the person in front of him, basically. And I think that's pretty interesting. I just don't have a strategy to put him in at this point. But I like the artwork. I always like dwarves in games. You can a lot of times find me playing a dwarf, so I like the artwork. Shout out to whoever did the artwork. Don't necessarily like the backgrounds they've put on the new cards because I think they're very plain. But I can see why they homogenized the backgrounds from a production standpoint. I just don't like them. I do like the main artwork though. So. Gathering the Magic says, great job in the brawl to everyone. Let's see here. Yeah, we did pretty good. Alex T says, GTM, when you help everyone, you help no one. Build your garden, then invite others selectively. Well, you know, there's a different perspective when you choose to be a YouTuber, right? I can see the perspective of wanting to make as much money as you can, and I can agree with that. But whenever you choose to be a YouTuber, you've got to have some topics to do videos about, and a lot of times those topics are about helping people improve their play, improve their deck, whatever it may be, you know. So there's that. Rooney207 says it's extremely hard to be plus EV in Splinterlands if people keep putting money into the ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, there's no way I'm going to quote unquote make money off of Splinterlands, you know. And you notice that they've kind of backed away from that whole play to earn kind of thing. And people will argue, yeah, you still earn, yeah, but in my definition of earning, I have to make more. I have to ROI. I have to make more than what I put in to consider that earning, right? In my definition. Okay, let's see here. Rooney207 says, at Bronze Dragon, is that really water? Yes, it is water. I am drinking water. I'm in an interesting period where I have not drank alcohol for about 2 weeks. If you follow me, you know that I'm a lover and a brewer of good beer. I love, and I don't generally drink during the week, but I do look forward to having a good quality beer on Friday and Saturday, or I also like bourbons. But I'm in a situation where I just got my yearly tests done, and they told me I could lose a few pounds. So for the sake of my health, I've stopped. My vices are snacking in the late afternoon and beer and whiskey on the weekends, and I've given up both of those for the time being to try to shed a few pounds. So yes, this is just H2O to wet my whistle. Gathering the Magic says, gotcha, Alex. Dwayne says, I hate when your beard sticks to your microphone. I know a lot of you don't have that problem, but I've got a microphone here slightly below camera, and it's a metal blue microphone. That's the name brand, and it's got a metal shield over it, and my beard will get caught in it, and then I pull my head back, and my beard kind of like pulls. I hate it when that happens. Let's see here. Dwayne says, Thanalorian, wow. Also, Wing Break, Magic Monster. Yes, I agree on that Wing Break monster. We were talking about that. Oh, I have to go back over to my other account. I think that Wing Break is going to be strong, interesting. It still remains to be seen how strong it is, but I think it is going to be quite interesting. What is he? Is he a legendary? No, he's an epic. Oh, it's Night Reaper. Dwayne and them were talking about Night Reaper. So he's got Wing Break from the get-go, right? And the 1BCX, he's got Flying and he's got Wing Break, which means always targets the first flying enemy unit, regardless of abilities or rule sets, +2 damage if that target has Flying. So obviously, we're going to see this guy in Earthquake, you know? And then over time, he also picks up Reflection Shield. There seems to be a lot of cards with Reflection Shield in this set. And then at the very end, he also picks up Last Stand, which is going to be very interesting. Which would what? Put him in the last location, so he's the last one standing. So this is Dragon, but this gives me flashbacks of Lamacron with Last Man Standing. So we'll see how that works out. But I do agree. I really think that there's a strong argument for saying that the epics in this set are stronger than the legendaries. Am I crazy? I don't know. I've been called worse things. Alex T says, I'm also a savage, so I guess it's more a morality thing. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Everybody looks at it differently. And, you know, I'm going to be right up front with you. There's some times where there's some things that I found in the game where I was doing research for various episodes, and I'm like, I should take advantage of this before I do a video on it, because I've watched it, and you know, I used to call it the Dwayne effect, right? Or the after sound effect, right? Because they'll do a video and they've got significantly more people subscribed to them than I do. And, you know, they might do a video and say, check out the value of this, you know, and then by the time I see it like a day later, like you all know, I usually watch my videos for the most part when I'm working out in the morning when I get up. And a lot of times the videos will be posted for 8 or 12 hours before I get to them, right? And then I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. Let me go check it out. And by the time I get down to my desk to check it out, and like, oh, all the deal's gone, or, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? The token has went back up, or whatever they happen to be talking about, right? Let's see here. Dwayne says Bronze Dragon is pragmatic and prudent. I think those are good adjectives for me. I appreciate that definition of myself. Bolts85 says in-game name Firebolts85. Anybody wants to challenge him? We are drawing down to the end of the hour, so you know what? I was thinking about starting a live stream at a different point during the week and just start doing these challenges and maybe doing some other gameplay. I don't do a whole lot of gameplay in Splinterlands. I do my guild brawls, and I love doing those on a weekly basis because that's when, especially this last one, I've been flexing. I tried to pump as many of these new cards into my guild brawls as possible this time around. But I was thinking about doing a live stream and doing ghost card challenges where we could all just like play ghost card challenges. I don't know how many people would be interested in that, but let me know if you think that's a good idea. Alex T says, I don't think the team doesn't like you. Really? Coit says, well, enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know if you're still on, Coit, but thanks for dropping by. I do appreciate you coming by and talking a little bit of Atlas Earth. I would do a stream on Atlas Earth, but I don't know if I would have enough content because it is largely an overtime game and not something you would get on and like play, matches of or something like that. So I don't know how much a stream would do. Alex T says, and y'all should have been ready for the World War III Black Swan event, so I got all my bases covered. I don't know exactly what that means. Rooney207 says, zombies will dominate. Alex T says, this is a bunch of side commentary on zombies for some reason. Crypto Beaver says, I have been buying DEC needed for land staking and getting ready for the new land related liquidity pools. Myself as well. I've been trying. I don't buy both SPS and DEC in the same week, but I've been kind of alternating. But for the same reason, I want a little bit more DEC ready for the expenses involved in Land 2.0 when we get there. They haven't been, it's been back burner lately, but it's better to be prepared than not, and it's better to get it when it's below peg than to have to wait when it is at peg and you're paying more. Rudy207 says, wait, what? When did Splinterlands get land? Is land a thing? Tyler LaFlame is here. Got up to 730 parcels this morning. Nice. Interesting. Is that a tier jump, Tyler? In what country are you in? Interesting. That's a lot more than I am. Like I said, I just put a video out and I just went from 150 to 220, and that's a major jump. It took me, I think, about 3 weeks to save up the 7,000 Atlas bucks, maybe. Alex T says, "What is land?" Unfortunately, a lot of us are in that situation where we put a lot of money in land. That was one of NFO Guide's main points of why he got out. Is he put so much money into land and then it got back burnered. So I'm still in the game. I'm still collecting every week, and I'm just hoping for the best, right? That's my point. I haven't done a whole lot of improvements on my land game. I guess week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I did upgrade one of my common totems to rares. I'm still just looking for the fragments whenever I can find a deal and putting together rare totems. Gathering says, Market Watch this weekend. We will see what this land thing is doing. Nice. If you're not familiar, check out Gathering the Magic channel, and he does Market Watch for both. He alternates doing the cards and doing land and keeping up with the market and what's happening and where the deals are, if you're so inclined. Alex T says, I'm sending the bottles to get you. Mystic Forks is here. Nice. Thanks for dropping by. Grain for DEC, not bad. Gathering the Magic says, there are ways to make a little money in the game and keep your account growing. That is what my $10 account does. Scrape a little profit here and there and slowly grow the account. Alex T says, what's a good quality beer? Any beer from Brewery Omegang, if you like Belgian-style beers. I don't think they have a bad brew. There are some breweries, I've been in it for so long, that there's some breweries that just make really good beer. And you can say, and I can advise you that, like I can say Brewery Omegang, and I can be confident that if you pick up a beer, and I don't get paid for this, but if you pick up a beer from them, you will have a very good beer, no matter which one it is. Founders Brewing, out of Michigan. No matter the beer that you pick from them, it's going to be good. And I have a handful of other ones, but there are some breweries that are hit or miss, make a good beer, and then there are some breweries that were very good breweries and were bought up by mega conglomerations, and when big companies, this is kind of a running theme with me. We were talking last week we were talking on the People's Guild episode about my beef. I don't know if it's beef. The reason I'm turned off from Magic the Gathering, Hasbro buying them up and ringing them for everything they got. Same thing happens when major conglomerations buy up good small breweries. They buy them up, and then they try to squeeze every last cent of profit out of them, which means modifying their recipes to cheapen the beer. So they go from being a good brewery to being a mediocre one, and their beers might not be worth buying anymore because they got cheapified by the trying to squeeze out every last cent. But that's the old gray beard in me trying to complain. Back in my day, we had good beers. Anyway, Rooney Toad, and I know we're going over a little bit, but I find this conversation stimulating. Rooney 207 says, Alex, Toro Viking mead. I love mead. I brew mead as well. In fact, it's been about 3 years since my last mead. I have been starting to plan one for later this fall. But, I've been brewing mead since '96, and due to the cost of honey going up, I make it less because it's increasingly more expensive to make due to the plight of the bees. So if you've got a big yard and you've got space, plant wildflower or flowers or other bushes that the bees like. It will help them out. We need that. Mini plug for nature for bees. Without bees, everything dies. All the, getting way off. Alex T says, get a pop filter for the hair on the mic. It's an attachment for the, I know what a pop filter is. Do you guys think I need a pop filter? Are various consonants and vowel sounds popping out of my mouth? But yeah, I know that would probably help. Good point. Bolts85 says live stream tournaments. I mean, any idea is on the board. I'm always looking forward to new trying to find new types of content. You know what it is. It's you make a video and you're trying to come up with something people would be interested in. I don't know. Alex T says a ghost card stream would be fun. We could start with there. Tyler says, yeah, tier jump from 625 to 730 in the U.S. Took another mayorship too. Oh, nice. You got 4 mayorships. For all you who don't know, one of the things that you can do in Atlas Earth is take over as mayor in your area. If you have the most parcels in your area, if you do, then when somebody buys a passport badge in your area, you get a percentage profit off of that. So in-game bucks, which basically helps you just buy more land to keep the cycle going. That's cool, Tyler. Very good. I like to hear success stories. Jabby Saint says, I write Peak D posts, and the proceeds of that fuels my card rentals so I can play the game. Nice. I don't do a whole lot on Peak D. I don't have anything against it. I just got a lot going on. I do post whenever I'm going to have my live stream on Saturday morning over there, just in case somebody sees it and wants to come join us. Bolts85 says, we talk about beer more often. I love beer. And it's not like I'm an alcoholic. I drink a lot less than what I did when I was young, but I enjoy the whole process of making beer. Like I said, I've been a home brewer since 96 when I got out of the Navy. So I love the whole discussion process. It's part cooking, it's part science. Just love it. I could do a whole stream just on making beer. No problem. Gathering says, everyone here, make a quick video on your end of season rewards. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just get yourself out. Yeah, Gathering has the last words. We're going to go ahead and close off on this. I appreciate everybody stopping by, but he's right. If we get more Splinterlands titled videos out there on YouTube, it's got to push it up in the algorithm and help out. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just say, hey, this is so-and-so, and explain a little bit about what you've been doing in the game and what your strategy is. I was looking at this artwork. I love this artwork, the Kazi Conjurer. One of my favorite artwork is the Shock Trooper, although I still need to find a really good use for this guy. I love the artwork. This is like they took a cell out of an anime, and I'm not a big anime head, but I just love it. So everybody have a great day, and we'll leave with the Shock Trooper and Gathering statement. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your time, and I will see you in Splinterlands or Atlas Earth or whatever game that we talk about that you're playing that I talk about. Have a good one.